Hello and welcome to Rao's IAS. This is the Daily Prelims Practice initiative wherein we discuss important MCQs from The Hindu and Indian Express. The topics for today's discussion are mentioned over your screen. So let's begin our session. So the first MCQ for today is based on this particular article which appeared on the page number 1 of The Hindu. This article is about the rising cases of H3N2 Influenza. Now before we look into the article in detail, let us solve our first practice question. UPSC has been asking questions regarding various diseases. As in the year 2017, we found a question on Zika virus. Now, let us solve our first practice question for today, which states that consider the following statements with reference to H3N2 influenza. Statement 1. H3N2 influenza is primarily spread in humans by direct contact with poultry. Now, this is an incorrect statement. This is because H3N2 is primarily a human influenza virus, which is spread through respiratory droplets when infected individuals cough or sneeze. In some rare cases, the virus can be spread through contact with poultry, but that is not the primary mode of transmission for this virus. Second statement, young children and people with comorbidities are at higher risk of getting the infection. Now, this is a correct statement, as the virus infects young children and people with comorbidities like asthma, diabetes, heart disease, and weakened immune system. Statement 3. Oseltamivir has been recommended by World Health Organization for the treatment of H3N2. Now, this is also a correct statement, as this is a drug which is recommended by WHO for the treatment of swine flu, that is H1N1 virus, and also of H3N2 virus. So this article says that since January 2023, there have been more than 450 confirmed cases of this flu in India. H3N2 is a subtype of seasonal influenza. It is also known as Hong Kong flu, and it is a type of influenza virus that can cause respiratory illness in humans. So the correct answer to this practice question is option C, that is 2 and 3 only, and the correct answer for our UPSC PYQ is option C. So our next practice MCQ is based on this particular article which appeared on the page number 8 of The Hindu. Recently, the Union Finance Ministry has amended the prevention of money laundering rules. Now let us solve our practice question based on this article. This is important as UPSC has asked questions regarding various important acts of the government and also regarding the amendments to these acts. As in the year 2019, we found a question on Maternity Benefit Amendment Act 2017. Now let us solve our practice question which states that with reference to the latest amendments to the prevention of money laundering rules, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Banks and financial institutions are mandated to record financial transactions of politically exposed persons. Now this is a correct statement. So under the latest amendments to the PMLA rules, government has mandated banks and financial institutions to record financial transactions of politically exposed persons. For that matter, politically exposed persons are defined as individuals who have been entrusted with prominent public functions by a foreign country. They can include the heads of state or governments, senior politicians, senior government or judicial or military officers, senior executives of state-owned corporations, and important political party officials. Statement 2. Transactions involving cryptocurrencies and virtual assets would come under money laundering provisions under the PMLA. This is also a correct statement as the transactions involving virtual assets and cryptocurrency would now come under the purview of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Crypto dealers, exchanges and intermediaries will now be required to perform KYC, that is know your customers, and maintain the records of their clients and users of the platform. Statement 3. Indian crypto exchanges will have to report any suspicious activity to the Reserve Bank of India. This is an incorrect statement as the crypto exchanges will have to report any suspicious activity to the Financial Intelligence Unit and not to the Reserve Bank of India. And also any financial wrongdoing involving cryptocurrency can now be investigated by the Enforcement Directorate. So the correct answer to this question is option A, 1 and 2 only. And the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option C. So the next MCQ for today is based on this particular article which appeared on the page number 8 of The Hindu. Before we look into this article, let us solve our practice question. So this article becomes important regarding various initiatives of United Nations. As in 2017, we found the question on role of UN Habitat in the United Nations program. Now let us solve our practice question which states that With reference to UN Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy, consider the following statements. Statement 1. It was adopted by all the UN member states by consensus in 2006 to counter terrorism. This is a correct statement as Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy was adopted by all the UN member states in 2006 by consensus to counter terrorism. The second statement is the General Assembly reviews the strategy every 2 years, making it a living document attuned to member nations' counter-terrorism priorities. Now, this is also a correct statement. The United Nations General Assembly reviews the global counter-terrorism strategy every 2 years. So, in 2021, there was the 7th review of global counter-terrorism strategy, and the 8th review of this strategy would be in 2023. Global counter-terrorism strategy states that terrorism in all of its form and manifestations should be condemned and there cannot be justification for any kind of terrorism. India has maintained that the tendency of categorization of terrorism based on the motivations behind terrorist act is dangerous, like racially violent extremism or right-wing extremism and other categories, and also all kind of terror attacks are condemnable, whether they are motivated by Islamophobia, anti-Sikh, anti-Buddhist or anti-Hindu prejudices. So the correct answer to this question is option C, that is both 1 and 2, and the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option B. So our next MCQ is based on iCET, that is Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology. So UPSC has been asking questions about bilateral agreements involving India or impacting India's interest. As in 2017, we found a question on BTIA, which is Broad-Based Trade and Investment Agreement. So let us solve our practice question, which states that with reference to iCET, Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology, consider the following statements. Statement 1. iCET has been launched by India and the United Kingdom in January 2023 to facilitate outcome-oriented cooperation. So this is an incorrect statement as iCET is a bilateral pact between India and US. It has been formally launched in January 2023. iCET aims to facilitate outcome-oriented cooperation and closer linkages between government, academia and industry of the two countries in the critical and emerging technologies. That is in the field of AI and quantum computing, defense innovation, STEM and biotech, space, telecommunications, 5G and 6G and semiconductors. Statement 2. The initiative is led by the National Security Councils of both the countries. Now this is a correct statement. The initiative is led by National Security Council Secretariat in India and National Security Council in the US. So this MCQ was based on this particular article which appeared on the page number 9 of The Hindu, and this news also appeared in Indian Express. So recently India and United States have signed a semiconductor pact. The two countries have signed a memorandum of understanding for establishing semiconductor supply chain and innovation partnership. So this is a development under iCET. Hence the correct answer to this question is option B, that is 2 only. And the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option A. So our next MCQ is based on this particular article which appeared on the page number 16 of Indian Express. The Government of India is aiming to bring the Digital India Bill, which is expected to be drafted later in the year 2023. So this bill aims to replace the IT Act 2000, and the objective of this bill is to ensure that internet in India is open, free from harm and online or cybercrimes. Among other provisions, it aims to include cyberbullying, doxing and identity theft as offences. UPSC in the previous year 2018 had asked this particular question which was regarding the cyber attacks. So let us solve our practice question which states that consider the following pairs. The left hand side represents the form of cybercrimes and the right hand side is a way of their operation. Statement 1. Doxing. It is publishing individuals' private information on the internet. This is a correct statement. Juice jacking. Unsolicited commercial messages sent via email, SMS or MMS. This is an incorrect statement. Wishing, getting sensitive information using a phone call. This is a correct statement. Cryptojacking, installing or copying data using a USB route. This is an incorrect statement. Farming, redirecting a website's traffic to another bogus website. This is a correct statement. So doxing is a kind of cybercrime wherein the personal information about an individual or organization is made public over the internet, usually with a malicious intent. It may include the real name, personal documents, phone number, address, or any financial information. Juice jacking is a kind of cybercrime wherein the devices like phones or tablets are compromised using a USB charging cable. It is usually occurred in public charging stations. So the goal of the attack is to either install a malware on the device or to copy potentially sensitive data or personal information from one's device. Another attack is phishing. It is a kind of social engineering attack wherein the unsuspected users are fooled over a voice call to hand over their confidential data like net banking password, credit card information, ATM PIN, etc. to the fraudsters through a phone call. Another attack is cryptojacking, wherein an individual's computing device is hijacked and its resources are used to mine cryptocurrencies illegally. Farming. Farming is a kind of cyber attack wherein some malicious code is installed in the personal computer or server of the users, which redirects the website's traffic to another bogus website. And this is done to gain their personal information for malicious purposes. So the correct answer to this practice question is option B, and the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option C. The final MCQ for today is based on this article which appeared on the page number 16 of Indian Express. The article is about Landslide Atlas of India. Now this article is important under various developments or initiatives related to the mitigation of environmental hazards or disasters like land subsidence, landslides or soil erosion. In the year 2014, we found a question on soil erosion. Now let us solve our practice question which states that with respect to the Landslide Atlas of India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. It is released by the Indian Meteorological Department, an agency of the Ministry of Earth Sciences. This is an incorrect statement as recently Indian Space Research Organization ISRO has released a detailed guide to identify landslide hotspots in the country. Statement 2. Nagaland topped the list, recorded the highest number of landslide events in the past 25 years. Now this is also an incorrect statement. This is because not Nagaland but Mizoram has experienced the highest number of landslide events in India in the past 25 years. So these are the top 10 landslide hotspots areas in India. So as per this report, in the period of 25 years from 1998 to 2022, Mizoram witnessed highest incidence of landslide. Mizoram was followed by Uttarakhand and Tripura. So the correct answer to this practice question is option D, and the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option B. So this brings an end to today's session. Stay connected for more video updates. Thank you.